Good evening, everyone. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce myself. I see a lot of names that I don't know if I've met, but let me introduce myself. I'm Loretta Graham, the very proud CEO of the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois. We have several board members here on with us tonight, and we are just so excited to see all of you here tonight. So let us go ahead and begin. As I stated to you earlier, so good to see all of you. Let us go ahead and recite our Girl Scout promise. And if you would put if you would mute yourself, I will do the promise. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. As I stated already, it's so good to see all of you here tonight. And as we give you an update tonight, several questions have been sent to me before the meeting, and I want to thank you for your questions. It is always nice to have these questions beforehand so I can address them in my narrative. Therefore, I will be addressing these questions as I give my state of the council. I ask that if you have any other questions, that if you would hold them to the end. And I ask that you please mute your phones during this time. Jessica Upchurch, our Chief Operating Officer, will be giving you an update on where we are with our programs and membership. But let's start with our financial update. I promise to keep you all updated on where we are with our finances. And as of February 2025, we were well over GSUSA required months of reserves. We have made some progress to get where we are with our finances, and we still have work to do. Although we ended the fiscal year of 2024 with a budget deficit, please note that we are trending in a positive direction and that we ended 2024 much better than we ended 2023. Now, a more detailed presentation of our finances will be presented at our upcoming annual meeting, so please be present for that meeting. Let me take a few minutes to address the state of the council. Again, I want to thank you for your questions and comments from Leaders Lounge. I hope I'm able to answer these questions this evening. I want to thank Tiffany and Danielle and Kara and Rachel, just to name a few. I also want to thank Tiffany and April for their email questions. And I want to say to all of you, if you have questions for me, please do not hesitate to contact myself, Jessica Upchurch, our Chief Operating Officer, or Ashley, my Executive Assistant. We will answer any questions that you may have. Now, friends, as we know, our council was hit by the perfect storm. First and foremost, the dues that the National Girl Scouts charge each girl to participate in our program increased from $25 to $45. Secondly, we were notified by our cookie baker that the cost to produce the cookies increased due to the economy. Therefore, we were forced to pass these increased costs on to our customers, raising the cost of a box of cookies by $1. And thirdly, the weather during this year's cookie season was horrible, with ice and snow and extreme cold weather, limiting the girls from selling successfully at traditional cookie booths. The Girl Scout Cookie Program have helped girls learn invaluable skills, such as decision making and money management and delivering a promise. These activities are directly related to our mission of helping girls realize their full potential and become strong and confident and resourceful citizens. In Girl Scouting, we provide girls with life experiences that address many of the challenges at risk you face. And it helps them eliminate some of the isolation they experience. Girl Scouts empowers them to build confidence, self-esteem, leadership skills, and determination to succeed. For many of these girls, participating in Girl Scouts is the only way they have access to mentoring, to computer skills training, to after-school programs, drug and youth violence prevention activities, education enrichment, sports, and so many other things that you volunteers do with them. Now, I want to address the board tonight. One of the board's responsibilities is to ensure the organization functions within the law and the corporation's bylaws. The board must also oversee financial matters and avoid conflicts of interest. The board is responsible for determining the organization's mission and purpose, supporting the CEO and assessing her performance, supporting the CEO and assessing her performance, and enhancing the public standing of Girl Scouting. And most importantly, exercising fiduciary oversight. Now, the last one can sometimes come with difficult decisions that not all may agree with. But the board's governance responsibility are to work closely with the CEO and set forth a strategic plan. The board prepares the council's strategic plan, which, and I want to put emphasis on this, which is pulled out regularly to reflect and see if we are on track toward our goals. If there is any concerns about the board qualification, please do not hesitate to contact me. I am happy to share with you their qualifications. Or you can talk with your service unit delegates. They all have their bylaws and their qualifications. Let there be no doubt that the board of directors of this organization have the best interests of the council front and center. Now, that being said, we have diagnosed our situations. In respect to the membership subsidy, the cookie price increase, and the cookie shortfall, or any other shortfall. And now we must believe in these decisions and act. Because when we work together, we get great results. We have the power to shape our destiny. And I am asking your support to join me as we face this cookie shortfall head on. The board of directors realize your dedication and the state of the economy and the increase in national dues going from $25 to $45 per girl. That's why they voted to subsidize $20 for every girl membership for the year 2025-26, which will be coming from the Girl Scout Experience Fund, an investment account. The board is focused. I cannot emphasize this enough. The board is focused on keeping this council in good financial condition. And as I stated before, we cannot allow this shortfall to set us back. Rather, let it be a reason for us to plan. And I believe we can do it if we are willing to work for it and fight for it. And if we rise ourselves above the doubt and the division and the fears that we are facing. Right now, as we stand, our cookie goal was 790,000 packages of cookies. But our current sales, we are at 73% of that, at 571,000 packages, 288. To meet that goal of 790, we still need to sell 218,000 packages of cookies. Our cookie shortfall this year is not fatal. Our belief will shape our outcome. We are the driving force behind this cookie sale success. So let our belief guide our actions. Since we're talking about working together, I want to give a big shout out to Debbie Parker and the service units in Jasper and Crawford counties for an amazing event called Death by Chocolate. We had a fabulous time as we indulged in the ultimate chocolate experience at Death by Chocolate. Local chefs and bakers competed for the title of the top chocolate dessert, judged by a select panel. It was an array of delicate, delicious chocolate treats, adult beverages, networking, all while supporting the Girl Scout mission to empower young leaders in our communities. Debbie, I want to thank you for your hard work on this event. Now, our annual meeting and Recognition of Excellence Awards will be coming up on April the 27th. There you will be able to meet at our annual meeting all of the board members and speak with them yourself. April the 27th at the Doubletree in Mount Vernon. Our annual meeting, it will be on a Sunday. It's going to be an exciting time for you volunteers and delegates to talk to our board. Council delegates are elected through a process described in our bylaws. They represent their service unit and the geographical area or location. They are elected for a one-year term. Now, I cannot turn it over to Jessica before I talk about Camp Torquay and the improvements and the updates there. We have 4 new cabins that has been completed They're called the Pines. They got bunk beds and new bunks, not just in those, but all the cabins. We are so thankful to the Agency of Community Transit who supported our projects out there and gave us paved trails and parking lots. We are so grateful for them. And if you have not been out there to check out these new cabins, I invite you to do so. Just one more update on the Girl Scout Experience Fund. The Girl Scout Experience Fund Committee is always busy approving your requests. We have seen more requests this year than last year. I want to encourage everyone to continue to apply for the funding. This fund can be used for many opportunities. But I want to remind you that applications must be submitted 6 weeks in advance of the event. Please refer to your Girl Scout Experience Fund policy before submitting application. These committee members are dedicated volunteers that review the applications every 2 weeks and approve applications according to the policy. Now, it is their goal to say yes to every application. But if it does not follow the policy, they will decline the grant. There have been very few applications over the past 5 years that they have declined. And with that, friends, I'm going to turn it over to Jessica Upchurch, our Chief Operating Officer, and she's going to give us an update on operations. Jessica?
Thanks, Loretta. I'm so proud to work with our council's operation team. You might know them, and sometimes you might wonder, what is operations team? Who is that? You might know them as program, customer care, adult education, retail, product program, and community engagement and community outreach. These teams work together to ensure that we are doing the very best we can to serve you and our girl members to the best of our ability. And when obstacles arise and when people have questions about something that we're doing or if we can do something different, I want you to know that we do connect and discuss what we can shift to serve you better. That's always our goal at the end of the day. I'd like to start first with an update on membership. For 2025, we are serving 6,061 girls, 3,368 adults, and that gives us a total of 9,429 total members that we have the opportunity to serve here in Southern Illinois. Our council continues to be in the top 20 for total market share out of the entire country, and in the top 10 councils within what we call the smaller market of councils, which is where we fall based on our membership size, budget, and some other factors. So really proud that we continue to serve at a level that our national organization asks us to strive for. Of course, we couldn't do any of this without each of our volunteers continuing to be out in the community with our girl members and showcasing that Girl Scouts is very much alive and well. As most of you might know, our 2026 membership spring renewal began not too long ago on April 1st, and we're about 9 days in, and we're continuing to see steady numbers day in, day out, choosing because we know this is a choice, right? We don't make you renew, but we sure do appreciate when you make the choice to come back to us as an adult volunteer and bring your girl members and your family with you. We hope that you've all heard by now, and Loretta kind of mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, about the $20 subsidy that the board voted to provide this year to help with alleviate some of that additional cost. If you haven't renewed and you haven't heard about this initiative, there's information that should be in your inbox about it. If you haven't checked your email, it's there. But so that you know, you can take advantage of this subsidy in the checkout online through your normal Girl Scout registration process. You can enter GIRL, all capital letters, GIRL 2026 at the checkout screen, and it automatically deducts the $20 from your order total. And that's for a 1 year membership. And then you can also enter GIRL 2526 for an extended year membership. Extended year finishes out giving you the rest of 2025 and then all of 2026. So you'd only be purchasing that if someone didn't currently have a 2025 membership. Please don't forget to also sign up for the membership year 26 spring renewal t-shirt. That is one of our incentives that's going for the first several weeks, the first month for renewal. That is on our calendar as a separate item, so you'll want to go out there once you renew and click that link to order the right size of t-shirt for you or your girl participant. You'll also find out there in relation to getting renewed early, 3 different Girl Scouts takeover water parks for those that have renewed. We have an opportunity in Charleston, Collinsville, and Carbondale this year. So make sure you can go to all 3 if you want. Just make sure you get registered. So what else is coming up? Have you looked at our event calendar lately? Because while you're out there renewing your membership and selecting your t-shirt, definitely take a look at the whole calendar. Our program team has been busy, wow, planning for all levels of girls to participate in-person and virtual opportunities. And there are items on our calendar all the way until December of 2025. And they will continue to add those as the year goes along. I can see right now that we have over 1,800 participants who make up over 3,600 registrations for programs and patch programs. That doesn't even include the number of girls that are coming to day camp and overnight camp this summer. Also, we have trips happening that are across the country. If you ever need assistance navigating our events page or our event calendar, please, please, please reach out to our customer care team. They are always ready to serve you. They have a huge knowledge base. And the best thing is, if they don't have the answer at their fingertips, they know exactly who to get in contact with to make sure that you're served well. So let me walk us back to this upcoming summer that I kind of alluded to. Overnight camp, day camp, there are a great number of service unit run, volunteer run day camps available, and several of them are filling up very quickly. Don't miss out on the opportunity to get your girl outside this summer. Again, if you need help navigating that, we're here to help. Call us at customer care. We're happy to walk you through and navigate those screens. If you don't see a day camp in your backyard community, please reach out to us. We can help you walk through how we can get one started with your help for next year. And we would love to do that. We want to grow our day camps as far and wide as we can. I'd also like you to take notice when you look at our day camps, we have our first ever equestrian camp with Greenville University. And we brought Greenville University on as a partner this year, and they're really excited to have our Girl Scouts out at their property. It's beautiful, and some really gorgeous horses to be a part of this program. That is a day camp, so it's not an overnight camp. You can take your girl there and pick her up. Cannot wait to see how successful that is this year. We also have a big summer planned at Camp Torquay. Both mini STEM and big STEM, which have been huge over the years, do have room for additional registrants, and we'd invite you to get out there and select your spot today. Just a reminder that if there are any parents who want to volunteer for mini STEM, you get a discount. So that is a big perk. Big STEM is you can choose from a day camp or an overnight camp. And this year we have another astronaut, this time joining us from Seattle, Washington to be part of our program. We also still have availability in our Animal Adventures overnight camp, which was a huge hit last year. We're looking forward to having llamas and exotic chickens to have at check-in, bunny or puppy yoga on that Thursday, and special appearances from some local animal experts. And one more thing, we're also working this year with SIUE to have the bio department out to come out for a bee lesson for the girls, which I think is going to be pretty extraordinary. I mentioned trips a little bit earlier when I was speaking, and we have several great trips happening this summer to Niagara Falls and Savannah, Georgia, to the birthplace. I know there are a lot of girls that have gotten signed up for those and a few adults. I know also there was a question about a London trip that I saw out on Leaders Lounge and just asking which London trip, who's getting this paid for by Girl Scouts Experience Fund. And I just wanted to make sure I cleared that up tonight too. Um, so that was a council planned trip that's open to all that were within the appropriate age levels. Participants were expected to pay the registration fee to cover their expenses. And as with any council-led program or activity, Girl Scouts that are attending can make a request for up to 50% of that cost to be paid by the Girl Scout Experience Fund. So just wanted to make sure that was clear of that wasn't a troop trip or a service unit trip, that's a council level trip. I could continue to go on and on about all of the wonderful programs that are hitting our calendar and coming up this year, but we would definitely be here all night. So I'm going to move on and share a little bit more from other parts of our operations teams. Moving on for our community outreach team, they actually serve girls during and after the school day throughout the school year. Girls get a regular Girl Scout experience all the way through that school year. And that team served over 1,400 girls this year. And I think that's really something for us to be really proud of, to be able to offer a Girl Scout experience where they might not have had one outside of what we're able to offer them. Our adult education team has continued to offer the needed certification programs to continue the Girl Scout traditions as a part of their troop experiences, as well as that team has also been working so hard on volunteer appreciation efforts and preparing so well for our adult awards. Speaking of those awards, we hope to see you, as Loretta mentioned, on April 27th at our annual meeting, but also for the adult awards and to celebrate our recipients of the highest awards that day as well. It's a huge, important day. A quick promo for our retail shop. We're continuing to offer free shipping for purchases over $50 if you can't make it into the shop on one of the days we're open. They do have extended hours now. I just wanted to repeat that again tonight. We have several couple Saturdays during the month that we're open, and then we have some extended hours into the evening. All of those hours are available on our website. If you want to place an order for shipping or just need more information, give us a call. Again, we're happy to help walk you through that. And I just want to also say thank you from myself and all of our team for those that participated in the traditional girl program for cookies, but also those that are, signing up to say, yeah, we'll see you through to the end. We're at 73% to our goal. We have come a long way. We're in the home stretch and are aware that we can't close the gap alone. So we thank you, like I said, for the ones that participated in traditional, and then those, of course, that continue to go into Cookies Take Two, is what it's affectionately called here. For more details, if you haven't heard about this initiative yet, you should have something in your inbox that came out last week. You also could see it in our Girl Scout newsletter that also just came out last week. But more importantly, you can reach out to us directly and we can make sure that you get signed up and you know all the ins and outs of the opportunities of what rewards are available. I think that's all I have. And I'm going to pass it back to Loretta.
Wow, Jessica, thank you so much. What some amazing programs that is being offered. And as she stated, whether it's council-wide programs or whether it's programs coming from camps that we're doing, that you're doing, we could not do what we do without you. Some amazing things is happening with the Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois, and we want to thank you, the volunteers, for making all of it possible. You've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again tonight. You are the cornerstone and the backbone of this organization. We could not do anything without you. And when I talk about volunteers, I talk about board members that are volunteers, you, troop leaders, service unit managers, all of you that are volunteers. We could not do what we do for girls without your help. And before I open it up for questions, I want to pause and I don't know if our board chair is on. I wanted to give her a chance if she would like to say anything, or if there is any board member that would like to say anything at this time. If not, we will, just a couple things I want to mention. Our national convention is coming up. And we've been interviewing delegates and getting all the people together that we need to get together to represent this council at our national convention. And that's going to be in Washington, D.C., July 2026. So at this time, friends, I would like to open the platform for your questions. Do we have any questions in the chat?
Loretta, I don't see any questions in the chat at this time. Oh, there's a hand.
April, you got it, April. You have the floor.
Good evening, Loretta.
Good evening.
I don't know if it's more of a question or a request, but and I know I speak for myself and some others from my area. Is there a way we can move these meetings from Wednesday evenings to a different evening? I'm currently sitting at church while my children are in church, because my church has a Wednesday evening program for the family. So I've had to step out of Bible study so I could be in the meeting. And the same with Sunday meetings. It's just, for us that travel, we have to skip church in the morning to get to that. I know that it's hard because we have service unit meetings and troop meetings. However, speaking to a lot of area leaders and service unit managers in my area, end of the month Mondays would might be a possibility, because by then we've all had our service unit meetings and such. So just a thought, food for thought there.
Absolutely. And April, we certainly will take that into consideration. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. So we'll be looking at that, April. So thank you. There's a question in the chat, and I think it says, is there any plan to reduce cookie prices? Once we set our price for cookies and we give the baker our prices, we cannot reduce that price. So there is no plan to reduce the price. How was
Yes.
Southern Illinois selected as a test market for a box of cookies? Well, as I stated before, we were looking when the baker decided that they were going to pass their cost on to us. We, as the board of directors and council staff, looked at everything, and we had no other choice but to pass that cost down to our customers. And I say customers because that's what when it happens in grocery stores and everywhere else, it's being passed down to our customers. And again, I want to just reiterate, we were hit by the perfect storm. Not only was the cookie price raised, not only was the membership dues raised, but the board of directors took a look at everything. And based on what you all said about the cost of membership, they decided to subsidize the $20 based on, because many of you were fearing that many girls will not be able to be a part of Girl Scouting. So based on your requests and concerns, this is why they decided to subsidize the $20. Now, there's another question, says, is it possible to change the time of cookie season next year to a warmer weather? We sure experienced some cold one this year, that's for sure. But, we have talked about changing the cookie time to maybe in the fall of the year or something of that sort. And we have just come to realize that during this time, it's between March and April. I mean, it's between January through March is most of the time when people are doing their cookie sale. So again, we feel that this is the best time to do our cookie sale. So this is the season that we're doing it. Another question in the chat. April, do you have your hand raised again? Maybe that was
I
from
just
before.
forgot to put it down. It's getting a little tired.
Okay, okay. Can we use the baker Missouri uses? I'm not sure what baker that is, but I think they're using the same baker. So no, I mean, yes, we can. So I guess I'll answer that question is yes, we can. We have the same baker. And Katie's shaking her head to confirm it. So it says, why didn't other regions, and I really can't answer this question. Why didn't other regions raise their prices? We sell adjunct to Missouri, which is $6 a box. Again, you know, they have different things that they have to focus on. And as far as we would love for all councils to raise their prices when we raise our prices. But each council is different. And they look at the needs of the council and they make their decisions. Now, there is some councils, very few, that is at $7. But it does not mean that next year that some councils, other councils will not go up to $7. So it's a financial decision. We made it and we stick with it and we do the best we can with it. Okay, let me see. These questions are moving up too fast, so I need to.
I can read it for you, Loretta.
Would you? Would you? Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Just a note about we have to compete with Missouri at $6 a box if we keep the same cookie sale time frame next year. And then we have a comment about scouts in the area feeling alienated and choose to put less effort into selling this year. They reached out, wanted some answers from council about the price increase and more financial information. When they couldn't get an answer, they sold fewer boxes. So I would want to know, Tiffany, after reading that out loud, like what kinds of questions, what didn't get answered? How can we move forward to help get them the answers, either for this year or for next year, right? We want to make sure, especially our girls, are heard and we are able to answer their questions as best as possible. So if you can share those with us, that would be great. And then there's a couple of questions. Please explain the corporate collaborations with the cookies. This is a question we get a lot. This devalues the exclusivity of the cookie sales and feel this isn't a good direction for Girl Scouts. So I'll start with that one, Loretta.
Okay. Can you ask it again, Jessica?
Yeah, absolutely. Please explain the corporate collaborations with the cookies. So the GSUSA products that are out in the stores. So the brownies,
Oh yes.
the
Oh yeah.
pretzels, yeah, the deodorant.
Yeah. Let me say to all of you that what you echo to me is being echoed at GSUSA loud and clear. Not just by my council, or by our council, or by this council, or by your council, I should say, but by a lot of councils. And it's been brought to their attention in several ways. But their belief is that they are helping us when they are advertising and doing things like the candles and ice cream and all of this other stuff. They believe that it is helping us with the cookie sale. Now, we've explained to them and told them, not the case. It's not helping us. But that's their belief. But I want you all to hear me loud and clear when I say, what you are echoing to me, I am definitely echoing it at GSUSA. Not only am I echoing it, I know Katie is echoing it too when it comes to cookies. Loud and clear. So I want you to know that.
The next part of that question is to ask, they're seeking some explanation on the Wendy's booths and the timing of it when it came to booths already being scheduled other places and us being able to share that information from GSUSA at such a late point in our cookie season. And Loretta, if you don't mind, Katie would like to actually explain a little bit more in detail about the Wendy's initiative.
I'm happy to allow Katie to do that. Go ahead, Katie.
Everybody, I'm Katie Grayling, the Director of Product Program. The one thing I would like to explain with the Wendy's is the GSUSA team with Product Program is always looking on ways to help each council, and one of them is starting these corporate sponsorships that we can get booths at. And so they were working with Wendy's to get the corporate sponsorship and the collaboration to have the Frosty. Wendy's wanted to put the Thin Mint name and the Girl Scout label on it, and during that, they like, hey, we want to have booths at your location for our girls. And so that's where that collaboration came in. And sometimes they don't come in all the time when we want them to. They're working on a steady pace, just like we do. So that one came about very quickly and on late, but we released that one as soon as it comes. But the team up there at GSUSA is slowly starting to work with the corporate collaborations. Corporate collaborations. And if they are storefront locations like Wendy's, items like that, we're trying to get in that we can get booths in those locations also. So hopefully we'll get more items like that coming down, but that is stuff that we're getting released as soon as possible. If I could get everything released to you guys in December, that'd be great, but they're working as fast as they can up at the GSUSA level.
Okay.
Thanks for that question.
Thank you, Katie. Jessica, read me some more.
You got it. Tiffany wanting to know if other councils selling at $7 a box have had a successful season, and I would default to either Katie or Loretta because I know they were still in season last I had heard how they were progressing.
No reports have been come in yet. But
what was that, Katie? Go ahead.
No official reports have come in. I talked to our rep this morning. She's trying to get all the data in because we're all finishing up programs or extending programs. So nothing official has come in.
And let me just say too that I know that we're looking at the $6 a box and we say, you know, that is the one thing that hurt us. Okay. It was the $7 a box. It was the weather. It was the membership, the perfect storm. I'm going to say that again, the perfect storm. But there's councils that are at $6 a box that are doing just as bad as the one at $7 a box. Friends, it was the perfect storm. $6 a box. There's councils that are struggling. They have cookies. They are doing some of the same things that we're doing at $6 a box. Again, friends, the perfect storm. Go ahead, Jessica.
Thank you. See the comment about $7 a box. Got it. And I just want to say also how she talked about the perfect storm. We absolutely have heard, and I know I've heard loud and clear from some of our members. It wasn't all of these things. It was just the $7. But I just want to, from us to you, we're sharing those things from our volunteers. Volunteers have told us the weather was awful, sickness was awful. So that's from volunteers just like you coming to us and letting us know all of these things are affecting them. Were any girls consulted on the decision to raise the price or to discontinue s'mores? Or was that a little brownie baker decision? And then, this is Tiffany, she said her daughter would love to turn on the microphone and ask a question or share something. So Loretta, if you want to.
Yeah. As far as the cookie, the s'mores, yeah, that's the baker. We can't do anything about that. Katie, you go ahead.
That is technically GSUSA.
GSUSA.
So that is not the baker. That is GSUSA that has said that cookie is going away. So we retire one, so a new one can come out next year. So that is something we always do, rotate a couple of years cookies out. So that is a GSUSA.
That is a GSUSA out of our control thing.
Yep.
As far as was the girls consulted, as I stated earlier in my overall state of the council, the board has a fiduciary responsibility, and they they may include girls. Sometimes they may not include girls, depending on the matter in which they are looking at. For an example, they may include girls to ask them something about camp or a program. But a lot of times, financial decisions, the board makes these decisions. So when it comes to did they include girls in the financial decision to raise the a dollar a box? No, they did not. Other questions, Jessica?
Can we have Tiffany's microphone on?
Oh,
She
absolutely.
has her
Tiffany,
daughter
you go.
there. Yep.
Tiffany, go ahead.
Hi,
What's your daughter's name, Tiffany?
her name is Emmy. She's a
Emmy.
cadet.
Emmy, go right ahead.
So, girls in my troop feel like we do a lot of selling, and we were never asked if we wanted to raise it to $7. And we feel like most of council and everybody who's getting the money isn't going to the booths and working as hard as we are. And then the $7 came from like our pocket. We didn't get an increase for that, only you guys did.
The girls saw how customers responded to this increase to $6 last year, and they saw that that didn't go over all that well. They had to work so much harder to sell $6 versus 5, and nobody asked them if the jump to 7 was going to be a good idea. They all felt very strongly that it wasn't.
Okay. Well, let me just say that when it comes to the $7 versus the $6, you know me, I always focus on the program in which in which the girls are receiving and the need for the program. And to me, it outweighs it all. Now, I'm going to say this, that there is councils that may not be going through what we're going through this year. And we like to compare ourselves a lot of times across the river with Eastern Missouri. Well, I will tell you, last year, they had a horrible cookie sale last year, and they struggled. And I remember talking to that CEO, and she said, Loretta, I don't know what we're going to do. And I said, oh, Letitia, next year is probably going to be my turn. It'll be somebody else's turn. And I wasn't really hoping that. I don't know what I was saying, but it happened. So when we compare ourselves to other councils, I want us to be careful that we don't know what they're facing and what they're going through. Okay. So we are all, I say this all the time. We are all working for more adult generated income. Okay. I talk all the time about the girls out there selling cookies all the time. So every single one of us are working very hard to make this council the best council that it can be.
May I ask?
Go ahead.
We went
Go ahead, Emmy.
When it went to where we had to give you 55% of our donations, how come we didn't get to keep that? Where is that money going to?
55% of donations from
Yeah,
where?
when people donate at cookie booths and say keep the change.
Now 55% of it goes to council.
Okay, just a minute. Tiffany, what's your daughter's name again? Can I get your name again?
It's Emmy.
Emmy. Emmy, Katie's gonna ask you a question. Okay, Emmy? Hold on here.
Okay, Emmy. So when you are at a cookie booth and somebody is buying cookies from you and they tell you to keep the change, they are still keeping the change for the donations. We have a donation program for the Girl Scouts for the cookie program. So while you're participating in a cookie booth, the donations need to go to the cookies. Troops are not allowed, and somebody correct me, but you're not just allowed to take random funds and deposit them into the bank account like that without being a record. So while you're at a cookie booth and you get a donation like a keep the change, or, you know, most of the time it's keep the change, we need to flip that into a cookie box because you're at a cookie program and that is you're at a cookie booth. So does that help, Emma? Emmy, kind of explain it?
What are you guys doing when you receive the 55%? Like, I get that it's going into a cookie fund, but like, where is that money
Okay,
actually going to help us?
Okay, what do you mean by 55%?
The amount that council gets from each sale of a cookie box or from each dollar donated.
Breakdown, where all the funding goes.
Mhm.
Okay, we can share that. Where Trisha, do you have the cookie? We might be able to share where the cookie breakdown is, or I might have it. I know it's on the back of the troop guide. But we can
that would be
provide that to
helpful.
you, Tiffany. So you guys can see the diagram on where all the funds go. We can get that to you if that's
Are you talking
helpful.
about
It
like
breaks it down.
the cookie breakdown, the percent that the troop gets and the percent that council gets? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What Emmy is asking about, she knows that 55% goes to council. And what she and some of the other sixth graders were wanting to know is the breakdown of what happens to the 55% when it gets to council. We know about some things like Camp Torqua and the events that take place, but we just wondered, they had more questions about what happens with the finances at the Girl Scouts at Southern Illinois level, because we had talked some about financial literacy within the troop. And they were wanting to get answers on.
I'm following you. I'm
Okay.
following. You want a more detailed on where that breakdown is. So like programming, it goes to some financial
Oh.
assistant.
Yes.
Loretta and then I know it goes back into operations. But Loretta and then will be able to help that breakdown on
Okay.
where that all fund goes. But I know
Okay.
it goes
So you
back
want
into our,
to know how the cookie crumbles. That's what you're
yeah,
asking,
our portion of it.
right, Emma? That's what you're asking. Okay.
Yes.
Normally, we explain that in detail at our annual meeting. So, and I'm happy to share that chart with you so you can have a chart, see it yourself. So let me do that. Let me just share that with you, and it'll tell you exactly where all the money is going. Okay, Emily?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Great
Emmy, can I
question.
just say I am so proud to hear you on here as a Girl Scout cadet, using your Girl Scout courage, confidence, and character to speak so eloquently and ask the hard questions. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Question about what happens to the unsold cookies at the end of the program.
Well, I'm going to be very optimistic right here. You guys know I'm going to be this way and say that we're not going to have any left over. Now we're asking all of us to roll our sleeves up and work together and try and get these cookies sold. But if there is unsold cookies, we will donate them to food banks and other places that we see the need for. Now, let me be clear. I say food banks, but many of you have said food banks, you get them to the food banks and then they start selling them. We don't want that. Food banks should not be selling cookies that is been donated. So again, I'm going to say we're going to sell all of these cookies and we're not going to have any that we're going to be donating or left over.
Okay, a couple more questions in the chat, and then I see April has raised her hand. So let me finish these in the chat, and then we'll pop over to you, April. I want to go back actually to Emmy's question again real quick because I realized we didn't answer one of those pieces. I want you to know, Emmy, that when the price was increased to $7, so were the proceeds. So there wasn't just the price increase, and we didn't increase the amount that troops get. There was an increase to what goes to troops. I want to make sure you hear that because that's important. There's a question about why Wendy's? What's the vision? And we don't really know the answer to that. However, what we do have is a really great opportunity in a few weeks to meet with GSUSA and councils around the country. And one of those sessions is on product program. And I know that our product program team will be meeting with their co-departments from our part of the country. And this will be a great opportunity maybe we keep getting these questions and maybe we can uncover some answers from the source, and when and if we're able to, we can definitely share that back out.
Any questions about the national organization and some of the things that they're doing, I encourage you to talk with those delegates that are going to be representing this council at the national convention. Like I will tell you, the girls that went last year was amazing with the question that they've asked the national organization. So I encourage you to speak with your delegates and share with them your concerns so they can bring that up as a delegate at the national convention.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. And there's a comment about other organizations that have the type of shared donation programs and don't require any kind of dollars to be donated to the organization. And I think, as Loretta had said earlier, it's hard for us to know the inner workings of other organizations. That's how our cookie program works here. But thank you for the comment. And again, the money that we're going to share at the annual meeting, and we can share after this to participants, that breakdown. Everything from keeping the lights on in a building to delivering programs, the money from the cookie program that comes into the council is all a part of that, and keeping the Girl Scout program alive, the marketing, the promotion, making sure that girls have access to really dynamic programs. It's all a piece of that. I think that's all in the chat. I'm going to go back through and make sure I didn't miss anything. Just a reminder, Visionary Voices is available for any older girls. I mean, if you haven't attended one of those, that would be a great opportunity for you to also connect with other girls that are probably having the same discussions you are. We love hearing from you here, but I'd also love to hear from you at the table for Visionary Voices. So that's out on our calendar. And then I'd bounce over to April, who has her hand up, Loretta, if you don't mind.
All right, go ahead, April.
So just some more thought on the cookie situation. I've been doing some research and digging in this area. And as you know, where I'm at, we butt up right next to Central Illinois Council. And on one of the radio stations, I have heard a car dealership advertising that if you come and drive a car or test drive a car at their locations, they're going to give you a box of Girl Scout cookies. So this company has purchased a bulk of Girl Scout cookies from their council to help move stuff. I'm just wondering if you guys at the council level are looking with any kind of corporate partnerships. Like I know in the past we've done an ice cream flavor that we had at the gala with a local place. Are you guys looking at a way to kind of help move some of these cookies as well?
Absolutely, April, we are. We are absolutely looking at all kinds of, and you know, I've sat down with organizations and businesses and talked to them about our situation, and they are willing to help. So we are, to answer your question, yes, we are looking outside of businesses and organizations and talking to them all the time.
Now, I was just thinking back to like, let's see, when I started 9 years ago, and I don't remember the last time we've done it, we had the gifts, where we'd have the companies do a sponsorship, like $200, and they would get a certificate. I don't remember what that program was called, and I'm sure Katie can help me.
Gift to Caring.
That was our
Gift to
old,
Caring.
it's our old it's our old business Gift to Caring. And truthfully, it was just we mailed a certificate out to the business. If people would like to still do that, all you had to do was ask a business to get the donations, and I will find the certificates that we used to mail out and I'll regenerate them. If anybody would like to find businesses that would like to donate for that during this Take Two program. But we just did not, it dwindled down for us as a council, getting responses. So it just kind of phased out. That is something anybody can do, any girl, any troop can do. And if they want a certificate, I will produce one for the company so they can have it to put on show, on display.
I just thought, you know, if we kind of partner with the corporations like that, or even be like at the gala, be like, these corporations partnered with our cookie program, blah, blah. Just, I know that this deficit is so big. I'm just trying to help think of ideas on ways to move cookies that people may have not thought of, because some people have not been around as long as some of us older crew.
Again, want to reiterate what Jessica said. And again, I invite all of you to please be a part of the annual meeting so you can see the breakdown of our financials and how the cookie crumbles. But just to reiterate what Jessica said, every dollar that we have in this council is supporting the girls either directly or indirectly. And when I say indirectly, all of those things that Jessica mentioned, whether it's keeping the lights on, all of those things, it's going to be supporting the girls either directly or indirectly. Again, please come to the annual meeting so you can see that breakdown. And as soon as we finish up our annual report, it'll be in that as well. So you'll be able to see it there as well. Listen, I want to thank you all. I want to pause here for a minute. Jessica, if there's no more questions, I'm going to pause here for a minute and just open it up to any board members if they would like to have anything that they'd like to say at this time. If not, friends, I want to thank you again for all of your support that you give this council. We all love Girl Scouts. And we all want the best for these girls because we are building leaders for tomorrow